Hello everyone, I hope everyone's doing well. I'm Emre, I'm a concept artist and designer working for the video game industry for over 7 years now, and I'm here to share some knowledge and learn more from you guys. This week we are going to jump into a bit more on world building, and I'll walk you guys through some Gaea stuff, and then we will start sketching some ideas. It will be chill week because I'm also extremely busy right now, so I'm just trying to squeeze in as much content as possible among all these business that I'm in. Yeah, I hope you will enjoy it. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments or any sort of ideas, please write them down. Please put some comments out there. Click on the bell, whatever. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. So we are now on Gaea. This is the environment that I had done in my free time last week. There's a bunch of nodes over here. I'm not going to go through everything in detail, but I'm going to talk about a bit more about the biome that I was working on. This project is just for the expansion for the Solarpunk World that I was building on, as we have started with the go-kart design, as you might be familiar about it. So what I was thinking about, maybe we can just dive into like individual biomes, and then from there we can break them down a little bit, and I can just keep on talking about it. From here we can also jump into Miro, and I will show you guys my thought process and some of the references that I captured, and we can start sketching out from there. I'm not going to get this too long because the whole video is about me just sketching stuff, and then I will put things together, just post it out there, and so you can watch it. So I always start with the ridge and some mountain textures, and then from there I just play around with the seeds and stuff, and then merge them together and just created me this in the end. And then I start merging more biomes in there, so there would be some variations going on. I always see them individually, just so I can evaluate how they actually feel like, how they might look like by themselves. I'm still trying to understand how I can have full control on the biomes, especially if they're going to be like separate ones in one map. That's something that I'm still struggling. So if you guys have any ideas or like any tutorials that you would like to share, please let me know, because Gaea 2.0 is still like, there isn't many resources out there, and I know that in their channel they just started posting new stuff there, but still it's like barren lands, and like some of the older tutorials are not really that applicable for what we are looking for. This is the canyon environment that I was thinking about. Maybe there could be some cars just going inside the tunnels, like the canyon tunnels, and just there can be some rocks falling, there can be some action, you know. And the volcanic area will also definitely have its own like challenges, just like lavas, for example, or like very hot environments, or like some geothermal, like water just coming out from the land, so that you will have to go around it and stuff. So I also decided to put it onto the side, which will also affect the whole color scheme as well in the environment. I was thinking about there could be like 4 different ones. One of them is like, of course, a volcano, some canyons like this, which will be around here somewhere. Some this actually turned out to be more like plains on the left. I mostly use this area, and the shoreline is also going to be there. This was like too high, so I had to just dim it a little bit as I started combining the environments all together. Let's see what else is there. I'm trying to do as less editing as possible this week because I'm way too occupied with stuff, so yeah, you could hear me just saying arms or like just stopping instead of pausing, and sorry about that. So yeah, this is how it looked like when I merged everything together. I really like how it looks like in grayscale, to be honest, but yeah, it's not going to be this way in real life. So I'm trying to capture the same like juiciness in the materials after I started like bashing in some material work over here. I added some rock noise in the end. This was how it looked like when there was a mask, and you can see it's different biomes over here. It's like we have a little bit of plains over here, and just merging into some canyons, and then the lava and volcanic territories will expand like till here, and you can see some it's just merging into the shoreline. This is going to be the sea. I added some texture base so we can start dividing stuff from here, and just shoots into volcanic lands, and like it actually applies to everything, and then you have to just separate them together from each other by adding some like masks, some color erosions and weathering. I think those need some tutorials for me to like. I'm not going to touch on these, but we can make a separate video about it if you guys want. Just let me know down in the comments. Yeah, and as we merged everything together, as we put all the textures and stuff together, this is how it looked like. And also we have, I wonder if I have the lake texture here. Probably not, right? It's just yeah, sadly, like there's actually like also a node for lake, but I've kind of failed to incorporate it into the land that I've made here, but you can right now imagine that it's gonna be around like approximately around this area. So imagine that you're a car and just passing through, and then it just opens up over here. Just jump, for example, like around the some like hills and stuff, and you eventually see the whole. Let's see in front of you. There will be some small mountains shooting up from the shoreline, and there will be a big there will be a big long coast over here with some sand. Just goes into the volcanic area, and this is where the action is going to be. And I was thinking about maybe there could be some greenery around here too. But yeah, eventually we kind of did. I was thinking about the whole feeling, considering that this might be a game idea or something similar, that might have this like feeling of that feeling that Forza Horizon has. Like it has this immense feeling of freedom. You can go everywhere with the car and whatever car you want, and like maybe it could be a bit more like hardcore in terms of how the driving might feel like. That's why I was thinking about like there should be some contact with a car and the land, so we definitely wanted to have a car that has wheels, because I just didn't want a hover car or like something like that, or like a speeder, for example. These are also some of the initial references that I found, which we will revisit for sure in the following section, which will be sketching. And I took some screenshots from the Gaea. Ideally, I should have like done like very primitive sketches for this. I don't know if I have them over here. Yeah, intermission, because I'm trying to find the sketches here, but I just I cannot. I have found them. Just showing it at the camera. These sketches over here, the initial sketches that I've done for this environment. I should have done more. But I just wanted to straight jump into Gaea this time because the software kind of felt like fresh to me, and like I wanted to experience it like directly. And I want to do more stuff on it. To be honest, it just feels so nice to play around with the terrain and stuff. It's so cool. Anyways, we just steered away from the conversation. Monologue. I noted down the biomes first. I was thinking like, okay, there's gonna be plains, there's gonna be rocky hillsides, let's say, and I see can be also lake, like it might be a big lake. We are not going to see much from on the horizon. It might definitely define the color of the water. Volcanic lands and canyons, and then of course everything should be connected by electric grid, which is actually a thing for Solarpunk. Like the theory, not the theory, but the manifest. Because in Solarpunk manifest, it says everything is electricity, the energy is democratized. Everyone has access to free energy and renewable energy, so everything should be connected to each other. Everyone's basically connected to each other to thrive together. That's the main idea. So even though the environments might look somehow disconnected from each other, they're kind of connected by the energy all together. I was thinking like there could be some separate energy sources for each biomes, which might also give us some different types of like different moves for environments, and like while we're driving the car we will see a different type of structures and like different cultures maybe. It's something that it's like a rabbit hole. As you dig deeper it will become like more fleshed out. But it's on the surface. I was thinking like, okay, there could be some floating solar arrays on the sea, which will have like solar panels like floating on the seas, and like it can move around according to where the sun is. Also tidal turbines. They're like semi-surface turbines. Some part of it is like above the tide, and the other side is like below the tide. It just creates this energy by using the flow of the water. Thinking about that right now, I was thinking that maybe we can make it a sea, because there's a lot more tide. Like there's tide, definitely a higher tide at the sea than a freaking lake. So it just uses kinetic energy from latent tides. And like I was thinking, we can reference these type of structures nearby the sea, but of course it will be a lot more futuristic. But we can still maybe reference the natural sources, because that's how people live. That's what we do for a living for like millions of years. That we basically use our environment to create housing for ourselves. And as you can see over here as well, like they're using a lot of like wood, for example, for the housing, and how they are actually supporting the houses so that it can protect them from the high tide. And they, of course, they were using them from the surroundings of themselves. How are they going to like consume, what they're going to eat? They probably will have like aqua farming terraces and stuff, which we'll reference while we are designing the environments. Moving on to the rocky hillside, I think it's like, for me, it's one of my favorites as an environment. That's what I will probably live for. Like I will probably live in the plains, but yeah, let's move on. I was thinking like maybe there could be some cliffside wind turbines where we can have like horizontal turbines that just attach to the hills, and then they will turn according to the wind is just coming from the ground up, like the other way around. So it just uses the wind energy to create renewable energy for people. Also adding some solar panel stuff like onto the buildings. They might have like, I don't know if you have seen, but I think it was Coldplay concert. They basically printed out like solar panels. We can have a similar thing over here as well, because I think the future is kind of going there. It becomes more integrated into the wearable tech, or like the housing tech, or like the architectural materials. So maybe we can have something similar on these contraptional structures that people actually live in. They might have built their places on the terrain, and the covering structure can be like very thin cloth kind of material, but it might also have like a solar panel functionality on them. Moving on to the plains, I call it prairie, but I think it's kind of different. Let's call it like plains for now. This is straightforward. It's like pretty much referencing to the actual solar panel fields that we have in the like usual modern day, like how it is over here. But maybe we can have this flower-like structure that it can also turn according to the sun's position. What's different over here is I was looking at these housings. I think those were in Fuji, but I'm not sure. I have to search for it again. Which are basically built along the crevices of the fields, or along the plains, that maybe we can incorporate those areas in the environment that we can actually build them. Same will go for different like environments here too, like just like the hillside, same thing will apply also to the canyons. I will also go through that in a bit. So I was thinking like maybe we can have such a structure, but maybe in different materials, much more futuristic, much more modern, but people are basically just living in communes, like communities, like tight communities. Also there can be some nomadic life too, which we go to these, where those are like tents that could be attached to trees, or like there can also be some different type of tents that people are actually like building around, and they might also have their garages and stuff. It's pretty much advanced little nomadic life that I was thinking. I'm also thinking about like having such vertical gardens or solar greenhouses and solar panel fences as well around the living areas. Canyons. I think this is going to be an interesting one, because I was planning to reference the cliff dwellers, cliff living life, but it's going to be extremely modern, like compared to how it used to be. But still, you can see the connection over here, right? Like it's like merged into the environment itself, and it's basically using the same material too, but it's a lot more polished and a lot more like sharp and like edgy, which will also reference our environment too. I'm not going to make it like a soft rocky environment, but it's gonna be like edgy like this. I was thinking like there could be solar mirrors, because canyons do not really get enough sun. They only get sun as long as they can see the sun just passing by. The canyon just disappears, and maybe a few minutes only. There was actually I forgot the name of the town. I was passing around here, I mean Freiburg, and like that town, that freaking small town among the hills and mountainside, basically gets like 30 minutes of a sun per day. And like, how do people live here? Is it like freaking Silent Hill? Like, why did they even build something there? It's interesting. Anyways, like maybe there could be some solar mirrors around the cliffside, so it just reflects the solar rays and just directs them into the solar panels that are built on the ground and just under the canyons. There could also be some turbines attached to the exits or like the entrances of the canyons, which like it can use the wind energy just passing along the canyon maybe. So I think this could be interesting. Volcano was the most tricky part because, I mean, usually using the geothermal energy, I was thinking that maybe we can use the geothermal energy, but while I was talking about this right now, maybe we can do something else because there's going to be a lot of like overcast weather there, I was thinking. So there could be like a huge structure just that goes above the clouds and just uses the solar energy from up there, instead of like attaching everything to the ground, just like how we have on the other environments, on the other biomes. So maybe we can use something like this just to have some differences in the height. And we can play around with the verticality a little bit there. But I might still like use some geothermal energy there. I hope you guys don't mind. I wonder how natural, like how can I say, like nature friendly geothermal energy is. I have to search for it actually before maybe doing something for it. Housing is kind of tricky because there can be lava, floor is lava, and yeah, something that I was thinking we can still reflect the surface, like the environment that the house actually belongs, the structures belong, but somehow it has to use the environment, but also has to protect themselves from the environment. So that's something that's part of the challenge that we are going to face with while we're designing something for a volcanic biome. So yeah, these are the overall research that I've done. Like pretty much everything is pretty much on the surface, but still I think it's enough for us to start working on something. And yeah, let's see what will come up. Right, here we are now. I will start doing the callouts for each part of the map. I will probably start with from the hillside, and my references are on the left. I kept the mirror on, and then we will start sketching from here. I think I will keep it as real time. It's going to be a long, like quite long video, so feel free to break them into parts and just watch them whenever you want. I just want us to chill out a little bit and just sketch and just talk about it. There might be some times that I might be silent. Yeah, so sorry about that. I cannot do both, like sketching and like talking sometimes, so yeah, hope you guys will enjoy it. So we got these references here. Let's actually, let's start with the buildings first. I'll do initial sketches. I'm not really concerned about the actual landscape. We can think about them afterwards. I can just get a section of them into Blender, and then I can build some concepts as definitive concepts. Right now, let's see. There will be a lot of failures while I'm sketching out, because this is like I'm kind of jumping in blind. Like there's, of course, there's some references that I found, but yeah, that doesn't mean that all my sketches are going to be beautiful. So bear with me there, guys. I see a lot of like challenges right around this area when I'm doing it, because like it's a slopey surface, so of course there will be some landscaping needed over here. Maybe like this, just like how we have in the reference over here. It's cool. There's some landscaping going on. I don't think I will involve landscaping this much. I just want things to look kind of natural as well. There can be some like stairs going down, maybe. Let's also point out our scale. Like I said, this is going to be very rough, guys, and I hope you won't mind. Material wise, I think I should also do some material callouts. Right now I don't think I will be concerned about that much. I also don't want it to look like too much like the references that I found, although there's some cool stuff over here, like these, for example, the sections that go inside like a doorway. And also maybe we can integrate it further into the environment. Like it can be can be attached by some ropes or strings, so that it won't actually fly with the wind. Talking about the wind, let's just copy this and maybe we can do something out of this again. I'll put it into a different layer. Let's stretch them a little bit. Like, let's keep the same landscape. And let's make them a bit more like, what's it called? Like aerodynamic, maybe. Like stretch them further. Stretch it, yes. Yeah. The scale over here will not be the same as the other one, I think, like given what this opening is. Maybe we can make it taller. Yeah, put the guy over here again. Like the first stages of this is like getting everything out of our system, just to see how things actually might work out. And then from here we can move on to the next stage. We shouldn't be concerned about how things actually look like, but it's just a discovery process for us to just see what we can involve in the designs, what we have in our mind. We should just put them onto the paper, stupid or not. Even the worst looking ideas that you consider stupid can actually have a lot of potential, so better to not to waste them. We can integrate them further into the environment actually. Like completely cover a whole part of landscape with a sort of cloth that has solar power functionality, so it has more like surface coverage. I don't know how people might enter though, but like I don't want it to look too much like a tent. Let's check our reference again. See what we can draw from. This is nice. There's like a little bit of a opening there. I didn't do any warm-ups before, so my hands right now feel so weird when I'm sketching. I just started working today, so I just feel alien to what I'm drawing right now. It'll take me a few more sketches to get used to it again. So what were we talking about? Cliffside wind turbines. I like this one actually. Let's grab this. Oops. I'll just scale it down a little bit. By the way, it's quite warm today here. I had to close the window because it creates too much contrast in the webcam. I don't know why. And started frying already. So I might take some small breaks in between. I will cut the video from there. No. And somehow I just... I don't like how it's integrated there. Let's think about this in separate now. And like, it doesn't really have to be this big, but yeah, at least the ones that are integrated onto the building, they actually don't need to be this large. Like, there can be like 2 buildings maybe like this, and we can put them right in between. Like this maybe. Let's go there and see how it might look like. I'll just copy here. Let's make it scaled up. So horizontal wind turbine. So I think it will be something like this. So about we just grab this over here. Put it right there. And like this. Yeah, it doesn't actually make sense for it to be this way. Or does it? Yeah, let's do it this way. Because, yeah, you just have to think about the sacrifices that you're going to make in order to make things look cool rather than actually functional. Because I think it should be more halogenic, like it's right now way too symmetrical. also try to fake the perspective. It's just for deceiving myself that there is a perspective here, so I can just draw over. There can be some connections to the ground here. It's the landscape. Kind of feels like I'm squeezing the stylus way too much. So like once there's a wind going up, this will start like turning. So the same goes for the reverse wind. So it will create some energy for the buildings and for the community. For now, I'm thinking about like maybe we can just focus on the buildings and energy types instead of like thinking about every aspect and just getting ourselves way too distracted about everything that's about to be in this environment. Like, because once we start talking about this, there will be like maintenance. There will be, if it's going to be maintenance, what will there be as a maintenance? Like, is it going to be like replacements? Are there going to be some dust? Dust doesn't really matter, but it might get stuck. Or there could be some, I don't know, some rock pieces or sediments from the wind, just getting stuck over here, like creating this like bump that it might get this thingy stuck while it's moving. So there has to be some people interacting with this. So how are they going to go there? Is there going to be cars, or is there are they going to go there by walking? If they're going to go there by walking, how are they going to carry the stuff? Or like if there's going to be some vehicles, what kind of vehicles there should be? Yada yada. It's like a freaking rabbit hole, and yeah, the deeper you go, more valuable your designs will become for sure. But yeah, for now I'm just going to keep it this way because there's a lot of biomes that we have to still take care of. At some point we will just speed up, like in terms of how we create the ideas. Like I can also involve some Viscom stuff as well, just so we can have something much more fleshed out for us in a short time. Let's move on to canyons maybe. Let's try this. I photobashed in the sea. I took like the both renders that has water, like a lake simulation, and the landscape. So I just photobashed them together just so we can have some idea about like where is what and how much of a body, how big of a body of water we have in the environments. I thought it would be nice to have some water over here, but it's kind of getting dried out. fetch this part. Yeah, I think this is more like an actual canyon. I will, oops. I will just blow this up. Lower the res, lower the opacity. Let's grab this area, or maybe just, okay. Make this larger. Zooming in. Or like, you know what? I'll just erase. Okay. Yeah, welcome to my chaotic Photoshop use. I think the best way to show how the buildings might look like here is to have like a cutaway of the canyon. I'm also referencing this one over here, these two actually. Different levels here. More texture. Like some details just come out as automatic, like while I'm sketching. As it goes further in, the details will cease. So I am mostly focusing around this focal area, and it just helps me to not to distract myself too much while sketching. So I'll just erase this part a little bit, then start putting in some components of living areas. Because like this wouldn't make much sense, because there has to be a certain type of support here, just because there won't be any rocks falling or anything. So I think I will also design something over here, like maybe something like a curved concrete structure. It could also be a part of some sort of like a column here, and in the column we can also make this column like let's grab this column as a call out. Nice, it was already in the clipboard. I'll squish this out a bit. Let's integrate this further. Also make it black and white. hope you guys are enjoying this process. If you don't, if you find it too long, just let me know. Like, we can go back to our short formats again. I like doing them too, but it also needs a lot of time for me to edit the videos, including the commentary or just cutting the hums, and yeah, sadly I don't have time for those. And yeah, but if you guys are concerned about like how, like if you just don't like such long formats, just let me know. We can do something else, or we can just speed up the video. Yeah, something like this maybe we can incorporate here, just so like, let's grab our red. Some wind might come here and can create this like flow, and then yeah, it can also generate some energy from them. We can also continue this sketch here as if we continue on the canyon. Imagine like this is the other section of the canyon here. I'm not going to emphasize it too much. I'll just put this here just like as it's like a cutaway, and there will be some opening down there, just like a little bit of a tunnel. Yeah, we can have some like this over here as well, just like how we have on the column. Although I don't like how it's kind of integrated right now, I will find another way for this. I'll copy this. Also, look kind of weird as a shape. How about we just create this like huge vent. Looks kind of off, right? I was also thinking about like, maybe not like this, but imagine it like a surface of the rocks. That can be, imagine these as like supports, like overhangs of stuff, and there can be like and also there will be some distance between the rocks as well. It's like they're shooting off from the rocks, and there can be like little bits of panels just overshooting from them, and like as the wind comes in, they'll just like start flipping. Like, yeah, and then they'll generate energy. I think I will use these for some like separate like specific sections. I'll just suggest them here, and also they can be like way smaller than this. Like if a human is this size, so human with a long body. They can be in this size. So this is an option, we can use this. I'm not sure about either one of these yet. They need a better integration. So how about we just demolish some parts of this canyon so that we can integrate them better. This is an option. I still would like to incorporate this in there. Let's try something else. We can cut away some parts of the landscape, and maybe we can put them this way. No, look. Like this. I think both ideas can work here. I think this is nice. I find this ventilation as like the propeller way too on the nose, because it's a common thing that's usually done for the wind energy, for windmills. So I was thinking like maybe we can do something like this instead. Let's keep them all together in this area. I'll just scale this down. We didn't explore the housing much. We only did like a very small sketch. I think I will do a bit more stuff here. So let's grab this again. I'll just copy. Erase a little bit. Maybe erase these two. Blow this up. I'm just using one piece of land as a reference because I just want to limit myself a little bit. Also considering that these houses actually were built onto the environment, I don't think it will be fair for us to design the whole landscape just to have these buildings. So I think it would look much more natural for us to think about this buildings right after the landscape. Let's just go back here. I like these a lot. I like how these are integrated in there. I also like how these are also integrated. I like the diagonals in this and randomness in the shapes. Like the whole landscape can be like this. Maybe let's draw it as simple as possible. While we are also doing the final pieces, we can also depict the landscape as with simple textures, nothing like way too complicated maybe, so they can serve the complexity that the building will bring. We can emphasize that feeling. we can also have some nets and stuff, maybe just to hold the rocks from falling. Like, it's still modern, but still feels like there's some people living here. Also, there should be some, I don't know, something that hangs. Maybe people might be picking up something from the ground. Some very tight staircases going down. Also, we never thought about the garages. I mean, there has to be some races going on here, but we didn't actually think about them. Like, they could be integrated at the bottom. These can be mirrors. We can design them as separate. So, imagine sun is here. Shoot here, we'll shoot this, and we'll grab this and just use it as an energy source. Why don't they draw the energy from here? Because this is cooler to have. We can have similar, like, flower shaped solar panels that they can also move, like maybe 180 or like 360 over here still. That's much more rough compared to how it is over here. I can make a larger sketch for this. I'm looking at this references again. To use a chunk of brush to show the stonework that actually builds the house. They can be like stacked on top of each other. And scale will be probably this much, maybe even smaller than this. I'll go to this brush over here. I'm using like very basic ones. You don't have to really think about that either while you're sketching, because at this point the only thing that you need is a bit of your gut feeling a bit of your artistic management, like some eye, and the references that you gathered and your skill set. I think it needs a bit more like right now it looks either way too boring in terms of shapes, or it doesn't really have the sense of like structure going on. Like it kind of looks random. So yeah, we can bring some order into this. Like as it goes down, it might overshoot furthermore, but when it's up, it can stay inside. The reason might be because everyone should have access to the sun, because the distance between two sides of the canyon is short and you only get little bits of sun throughout the day, so everyone should have that opportunity to have more sunlight. But also the one above, just yeah, there has to be some sort of like distance here. Stairs. Let's put this here as well. We are filling up the page, and there's no space left here. And like I'm actually drawing this in the wrong place. Where's the other sketches? Here. There you go. Canyons here, and what's next? Volcano. That was the problematic one. Let me group these. Yeah, as you can see, I don't really put the notes. I should, but I'm also talking on the side and I cannot really keep up with my talking while I'm writing. And I'm basically using these videos as a note for myself. I'll probably open the videos again at some point while I'm modeling them or just fleshing out the sketches and see like, what have I done here? Just roll back and go back again and just keep on detailing out the designs. I'll pause the video here right now because I'm melting, and I'll go back to the volcano biome and sketching out this area as well. So let's quickly move on to the volcanic area. The volcanic landscape will have some problems because of the overcast weather. I was thinking, so this will be the main challenge that we have. Also, like lava, but there will be a constant, almost constant, like overcast weather. So we should do something about this. I was thinking, like, maybe let's first sketch out the environmental bits. Also, I just realized that this video is going to be quite long because when I was taking a small break, I also fired up the Premiere and I started putting on some of the videos, and we are already at 1 hour limit, so good luck, guys. If you really would like to watch this, I'm sorry. I hope you will enjoy it. I'm just kind of doing my best to accompany you on this while I'm sketching, so I'm also not trying to shut up. I hope you also don't mind this either. But I will get faster, I think, from here. I just want to put the ideas onto the canvas, not really fleshing things out anyways. So this is like gonna be like this, and also like we can even make this longer. So imagine this like an elevator maybe. So if the clouds will be so too much above the solar panels, it can go up or down a little bit. Also, there was this solar farm. I think this was in the China or somewhere, that has this mirror here and just basically reflects the sunlight. So we can incorporate a similar thing over here too. For the just put some two infant there. I think there can be even multiple of these actually, as suggested here. I hope you guys enjoy these videos. Like, if you like, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Yeah, but if you do that, that would be great actually. Because lately I've been seeing a lot of like views getting like I don't receive as many views as I did in the last like 3 months ago. It's so weird. I don't know what YouTube's thinking. I don't know what algorithm is thinking. Sometimes it's kind of weird. Like it's kind of difficult to understand what my viewer base does and like how like what are their habits. So yeah, these videos over here, these little experiments that I'm doing actually are there for me to understand what you guys are up to, but still I just cannot really understand that much. was thinking this column as like type of a housing complex, and just down below there can be some lava stream like this, and it can actually flow down, and we can also put some vents over here for to indicate the geothermal energy production. And also above, like, we can have this section similar to the sides as well, as a way to hold on. I think we are getting somewhere with this. I enjoyed this more surprisingly than the other parts that I just designed. So maybe we can have these solar panels over here attached here onto the column, and maybe there can be some trees as well, because yeah, I mean, it will go above the clouds, no, so it will have a good exposure to the sun, so it will also give us a good contrast. Actually, I like this. I think this will go somewhere. That also bears some other questions, like how people are going to go up, like how are they going to reach there, because there's molten lava and stuff. But yeah, those things are kind of easy solutions that we can even put bridges. And this is like, since this is an elevator, we can like we can put the entrances down below. Yeah, this can be also good, like hang around area for people too. And let's also put the clouds in, so just demeld the bits. Yeah, this kind of solved itself. Let's moving on. So yeah, we kind of incorporated everything. Yeah, this is kind of still missing though. Maybe we can somehow put it into design itself. I mean, those parts can be the vents instead. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor here, probably not. And these openings down there can be where the actual vents are. So not the vents, but the entrance points for the volcano. We can also make them look kind of random, like as if it was designed like parametrically. Talking about the user habits, just want to hear what you guys actually working on. Like, what is your occupation, what you're doing in life, what you're doing for yourself, what are your struggles? Like, are you guys designers? What are your main struggles? Like, what would you like to see? when you're here. Like, what would you like to solve in life except for the impending doom of the industry in general? Yeah, I think this is good. We can. This has a lot of potential. We can use this. Planes. I think it's gonna be the planes. Or not planes. God, these two I'm not really sure. I'm going to look at this area from above. It can be really plains, but there should be some little bits of like elevation differences, you know? Doesn't have to be really like plain. So we can still grab these references on the left and somehow do like this. And also there can be these vertical gardens. We can incorporate the solar panels around these housing complexes. Like having these solar panel farms on the land, it's boring. But somehow putting them onto a challenging landscape actually creates the interesting stuff. So like I think thinking about what certain challenges this environment might have can be the drive for us to think about what to come up with as a cool looking idea. Yeah, these can be the complexes. They can be connected. There can be more trees here. Gardens will be here. That might even be too big for my liking. There could be also like it's not sure, it doesn't have to be these, but also can have some nomads. So let's imagine like the landscape like this, it's mostly like straight. Basically using similar shape as I have in the reference, because I like the shape a lot there. Also, let's see. I have to think about the scale. Maybe it's too small. Same goes for the... Let's put like a bit of basic propellers. Like everything is very basic. Also there can be like some open garage here maybe, and it can be attached with a tent. I think it's kind of rough here, but yeah, you get the idea. You get the idea. It can be the car. No. Yeah, you get the idea. Okay, I'm not going to put too much detail on this. Yeah, I think this needs another pass of like polishing. Also, I don't know if yeah, let's make it this way. It can be somewhat attached to the actual tent. Some workbenches and stuff here. Power generator somewhere maybe. Like now you are building this, but we also have to think about like what this guy will eat. Like, or are they going to hunt, or are they going to, I don't know, cultivate some hydroponic farming. If he's going to do that, where is he going to do it? Like, are there going to be some separate farms for the community? But these guys are nomads. I wonder how tight their communities are. Maybe it's quite tight, but everyone's like always moving around, so in their hydroponic farm should be somehow easy to carry. And like they should also have like portable solar panels maybe. This looks very primitive, but yeah. Like it can be attached to their backpack. See, just like that. But yeah, if they're nomads, like what are they going to use for moving around? Cars, or like, I don't know, just like the old times, oxes, horses, who knows? But since this is like a driving game, quote unquote, there must be some vehicles involved, so cars might actually work. What sort of car will it be? Yeah, that's also another question. Let's move on to the last part. Will I be able to fit everything? Probably, yeah. Oops. Like, wait, wait up. Before we go to the last phase, I'm gonna do something. Like, let's see them in the larger scale. Like, how are they going to be incorporated into the landscape? Yeah, I want them to be completely attached to the surface. And also maybe some hangout areas for the community will be nice. So maybe we can design some platforms here and there, but they will be very small, like very tight, but still cozy enough for everyone. And they can be attached to the landscape, and also they can be attached to each other. Okay, let's move to the last phase. Water break. Yeah, sorry. Let's see. I want to see this area as a cutaway perspective, cutaway section, like section drawing. So imagine this as a land side of the area. This is going to be the sea. Let's first think about how the community will be placed. These could be tidal turbines attached maybe to their legs, and they can be like coral reefs, maybe like maybe printed out, like a printed out material, you know, it has these sections. It can also go down this way, and also these can also create some corals down below, so it will continue this way, like this. Like fishes love small dents or like small areas that they can build their lives on. Like fishes can live here, they have their own corals attached to our corals where the people are actually living, so you can also put this like different meaning into the people living in there. So they are kind of like living like the environment that they're in. It can emphasize the relationship to the environment. I don't know about the shapes of these. I'll just scale this down. I wanna... Come on. What's going on? Oh, you're in the eraser. I don't want this to be similar to the others, but I think we are kind of getting similar to we have the other ones. Let's just play around with the shape a little bit. Yeah, just like that. I think it's fine. And they might also have some platforms here, just leading to farms, what we call farms, which are like quite similar to what we have in real life. I think they already have, like, it's quite practical and we don't have to really reinvent the wheel. Sometimes it's fine to just use the real life directly. Also, like, it helps for people to relate. If everything looks different, you will feel alienated to the stuff that you're consuming, so better to have a certain percentage of familiarity in the design. So having these can actually be fine. You can use them. The lighting, we can also do something maybe like what's it called? I noted down here, look. Geez, I forgot the word. Kelp. You know, like these long, the seaweed that's just coming out from the water, you know. Something like that, we can have them over here, but they can be lights. They can be a bit more like streamlined in terms of design. This is way too organic right now for my taste. What else? Semi-submerged buildings, these are checked. Yeah, the one behind is semi-submerged, and there can be also like, I don't know, some view from the under the sea, maybe. They can also have some docks. This is a dock, but yeah, they, you know, like that they can repair their ships and stuff, like small boats. That also means that we have to design small boats as well, but yeah, something we have to think later. These let's think of this as like sea level. This is seabed. We are basically seeing like in a cutaway perspective. What's important here is like how they're going to be seen from the outside. Because imagine that you're driving a car in the environment and you're seeing these. You're basically seeing them from above, unless there's like a different layer that actually goes under the sea, like a sea tunnel maybe. So I think from the outside it should look somehow easy to distinguish, and also it should have some pretty shapes. Can be attached to the seabed like this, and also we can also give some space for the fishes to build their house. It's the under the sea. Maybe we can also build a platform around them. My Photoshop started acting up. I'll grab this one. Make it smaller. Size wise, I think we are there. Like we are kind of around this size. Yeah. Oh, come on. LJ. The opacity. Let's play around the shapes a little bit. Maybe there will be some houses here too. What if we think all of them as one, like, okay, imagine this way, this sea level. This is the turbine. Continues this way. There will be fish farms here. Like I don't want them to be way too detached from each other. That's where the idea is coming from, actually. It's attached to the floor. And down we have the houses like this, and they can continue to the shore. Since everything is attached to each other with a platform, I think we can also play around with the length of this platform, so it can go back, like go forward and back, depending on what we want in the environment and how we would like to see it. Things are attached to here this way. Just like how we have here is the same to this, but they're combined basically. Yeah, it's basically that. Alright, so for today this was it. It was mostly about like sketching and like putting down the ideas in the first stage. There's of course you can just make this project humongous and like put a lot more thought into it, or like do a lot more research, or think about different aspects that we also have kind of thought about it today. But for this video's purpose, I don't think we should be spending too much time on this, but in the next one maybe we can put more like ideas onto the canvas, and then yeah, we can start polishing out the environment and the assets and the landscape of it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had some good time here. The video was quite long. I hope you enjoyed your time. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please write them as well. I would like to hear them all. And yeah, please share if you know someone who wants to be more involved in these or want to know more. Please let them know so we can build a community together. So yeah, thanks everyone. Thank you for your time, and I wish you all a nice day, a nice week, a great weekend. Ciao.